Abramelin Update Day 90 Part 2. Thank you for watching the first part of this video. I am sorry I had to cut the update video in half. I needed to. I am being visited by family at the moment, which has thrown me off my schedule. I am very happy for the visit, but that is why things are a bit erratic on my end at the moment. I'm only telling people this because I have various correspondences from my channel, and I don't want them to think I am ignoring them. So I apologise for my lateness in replying to people. I may be a little late for the next week or so, especially with email. I am also mentioning this because some people get concerned if I disappear, as I am performing a very dangerous magical operation, and just wanted to say everything is fine on my end. As okay as things can be considering. Now back to the operation. I won't summarize my last video, so I'll go straight into it. Now I know that it is technically day 95 of my Abramelin operation, and not day 90, but that 3-month date is too significant for me to brush over. Now going back to the problem I was having with demonic entities manifesting themselves in a particular corner of my room at night, over and over again, during the course of this operation, which I've described over the various Abramelin update videos and the haunting paranormal experience video. I have found a solution to the problem that was so simple I can't believe I did not do it to begin with. That is the strategic use and placement of sea salt. From Judaism to Shinto, the use of sea salt for the purposes of protection and purification is almost universal. Remember, I cannot perform any banishing rituals during this operation, for it can cut the connection with the Holy Guardian Angel. So it has been hard to find any means of protection that would not affect the angel. Anyway, it has to be sea salt, not Tibetan salt. That won't work, and I'm not going to explain why, for it will get me too off topic. It is all to do with how the salt is manufactured, and also that sea salt has many mystical purifying properties that go back to using the ocean to bathe and purify yourself in religious practices, like Shinto. The ocean was and is still used as a means of purification. With occultists, kosher salt is usually preferred, but I'm using general sea salt. It works for Shinto priests in Japan, and damn does it work for me. I refer to Shinto a lot because I have a fascination with Shinto, which I'll have to talk about one day. Anyway, I have mentioned before that my oratory where I do my Abramelin prayers is in my bedroom in an alcove, facing a window and a terrace. I had to use this area as it is the only place that meets all requirements in my apartment for the operation. I have mentioned before that I have only had positive manifestations at my oratory. No demonic entity has ever showed up anywhere near the oratory. However, I have a theory that is something I believe will be useful to others who may consider performing the operation. In the Abramelin, you can either have the oratory in a place set up like mine. I won't go into the specifics for that, for it will take too long and I don't want to get lost in minutiae. If you want, you can set up your oratory outside instead. Now, I believe this makes all the difference in the world. I have known about those who had their oratory set up outside, and they never experienced the kind of constant harassment by demonic entities and paranormal phenomenon like I've had to deal with within their room, or my room. However, others who have had their oratories inside their place seem to have constant paranormal phenomenon, like I've manifested. I believe this is because the proximity to the oratory becomes a den of demons, for they cannot get too close, for one is constantly consecrating the oratory, and to a degree themselves every day during the orations in the Abramelin. But outside of that consecrated area, demons can manifest, and they seem to be drawn to manifest there, or near it. Having my oratory in my bedroom, and they're being constantly attacked at irregular intervals by demonic entities at night, manifesting just outside what must be the radius of consecration at my oratory, seems to give credence to my theory. I worked out the exact place in my room where these entities were manifesting, right near the door to my bedroom. So after over 2 months of having to deal with these attacks, it finally occurred to me to get some good quality sea salt. Put it into a thin open jar as to not to have it tip over, and place it strategically in the area where I've been experiencing this phenomenon. Now the picture in the thumbnail to this video is one of my salt placements, the first one I used right where the demonic entities were manifesting at night in my bedroom. That's what the picture in the thumbnail is of. And that's how I use the placements of sea salt within these jars. Anyway, I tested this out, and all strange phenomenon in my room, all manifestation of entities and nightmares ceased immediately. It worked. Not only did it work, but I tested how long it would take till the protection wore off by not changing the salt in the jar. After 2 weeks of this experiment, I started to notice the dark energy begin to come back. So not only did I cleanse the jar, got rid of the old salt and replaced it, I decided to replace the salt in the jar on a weekly basis. I also placed another sea salt jar next to my bed, and I still have had no manifestations in my bedroom. In a funny way, the sea salt is a double-edged sword. I sometimes use demonic entities as a measure of the progress or success of my operations. If they show up to mess with me, it usually means I'm on the right track. I would not recommend this way to anyone, and I decided it was too dangerous, as this operation continues on, to not protect myself. In the end, I decided it was not worth risking my health and well-being as a litmus test. As I mentioned in my part 1 of this video, I have been working on a project recently, and everything possible has gone wrong, and a lot of work had to be put aside. I only had sea salt set up in my bedroom at this time, but last week everything went wrong. I'm going to be returning to this project that will be uploaded to this YouTube channel as soon as I have the time to record it and work on it properly. Someone close to me theorized that a demon was messing with me, psychically attacking me, ruining weeks of work in this project, and making me have to put it all aside. This person does not say this kind of stuff to me lightly, and when they do, they are usually right. So I will have that started hopefully soon. I then decided to use these sea salt placements that were working so well in my room all over my apartment to help protect me and also my family who were coming to visit. I'm now having no issue with working on projects in the strange way I was having before, where everything went wrong for no reason. I'm noticing a difference in my mood and having more energy. It has given me a better basic of psychic protection. This has been the most useful practice I've put into place since starting the Abramelin. I would recommend this to all households. Anyway, I have used sea salt before. I used to have it all over my apartment a few years ago, and have used it in magical operations. But it completely slipped my mind. It's been a miracle worker. However, it does not provide complete protection, and strong demonic entities can get through it. But it's damn better than nothing. And unlike the banishing ritual, it has no possibility of cutting the connection to the angel. Now, enough about sea salt. I will conclude with one of the difficulties at this stage in the operation, and that is exhaustion, or magical burnout. Doing the ritual day after day, sometimes you hit a wall, and having to wake up in the early hours of the morning to pray and evoke in my oratory, freezing half to death in the middle of winter, gets difficult. I have never neglected for one day my orations, but at times I am barely able to pull myself together to do it. This is common during the midpoint in this kind of long, magical operation. However, once the third phase kicks in, the person usually becomes more adamant and gets over the wall as the intensity of it increases. It is a complex procedure, and I am barely able to give it justice in these videos of what it's like to do it, but I believe I have gotten close to the mark. The visitation of my family has also made this more complex, for I have to work around them whilst not detaching myself from seeing them, for I do not live in the same state as my family and I don't get to see them often, especially with COVID. So I am trying to make sure I am protecting them while they are here, containing the operation within my room and the oratory, and containing the operation within. The use of salt in the room they are staying, I'm using the salt in the room they are staying in, and also my living room, which has given some extra means of protection for them at least. There is so much more I can go into, but I'll leave this at that. Day 90, the midpoint of this 6 months operation. Let us see where the rest will take me. Thank you for watching.